All right, so one of the things that I've been currently and actively meditating about, thinking about, just trying to find the best way to handle these specific kinds of situations and scenarios, just to be more productive, be a better person, and to just get to where I'm trying to go, right? And that's going to be caring about what other people think, worrying about what other people's perceptions of me are, and letting those mental fallacies and perceptions of how they see me affect the way that I do my day to day activities. As someone who's been there, who's done that, and who's had the situations where someone's calling you this name, or someone doesn't understand why this, or they're saying that you're that in the short term, and you don't like what they're saying, the things that they're saying are negative, and although they're negative, yes, they may be partially true, but the problem with that is that people aren't looking at a long enough time horizon, right? They're seeing what you're doing in the short term, and that's all they can do because that's all they have time to care about. Say that doesn't matter what stage of your life. This could be in middle school, this could be in high school, this could be in college, this could be when you're 50 years old for all I care, right? Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, there's this girl that you really, really like. The deep down bottom of your heart, you know this girl is amazing. Maybe her cheeks aren't the fattest. It doesn't matter what the scenario is, but you really like this girl, and then you run it by your friends or your close family or your mom or whatever the case is, and they go, "Oh, I don't like that. Why does she pretend?" Whatever the scenario is, it just so happens that you guys break up, and you break up for the sole reason that you let somebody else's opinion dictate your own response, which is just if we're talking about being a man, and I haven't brought this into the equation yet, but as a man, that's not a very manly thing to do, right? So let's just say this, say you pick up, and then 2 to 3 years down the line, this girl's an incredible looking individual. She has all of this, this, and this, and this, and all of those little problems and things are gone, right? Because the people saying those little things or thinking in the short term. I didn't see 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, 5 years from now, whatever the case was. They were just thinking about what was wrong now. Okay, these are issues, right? This isn't the best. This isn't necessarily optimal. But what happens if she works on that? What happens if she does that, and that? Boom. And then now you regret. You live a life of regret. This amazing woman that could have been your wife ends up being somebody else's. And just imagine the scenario where that happens to you, where you really were on the right path and you let somebody else's opinion dictate the way that you lived your own life. It just doesn't make sense, right? And I mean, like, let's be real here, bro. If you are allowing these things to happen, and I'm not saying that I don't ever do this, because to this day this still happens to me. This is just something, like I said, I'm actively thinking about, I'm actively meditating on, I'm actively trying to improve so I can become a better person, right? um if you are doing these kind of things and you're constantly allowing other people's opinions to dictate how you live your own life, all it's going to do is hold you back. And if you're trying to get to somewhere where is above what other people's limiting beliefs are, you're not going to get there, because this is just going to be a roadblock in the way of your success. Right? Another scenario is, let's just say hypothetically, let's say that this is a real scenario, right? Which it might be. This is why I'm bringing this up. Let's say that someone that you know has a cleaning lady, and if you're watching this, you know this scenario. I'm just using this as an example. I don't feel any partial way towards you. I just want you to understand this as an example to get my point across, right? Let's just say that you have a cleaning lady, and this cleaning lady has been with you for years. You could put the same exact frame on a best friend or a significant other. You can look at this in 100 different ways, but let's just say that your cleaning lady's been with you for 5 years. And for over the past 2 years, she's been starting to slack. She's charging you more money. She's doing worse work, but you don't want to go to the next best option, which just so happens to be her cousin, who's cheaper, who's quicker, who's more consistent, who's on time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like I said, this can be, you can put the same exact analogy into 100 different scenarios of other use cases that are all relaying the same message. Um, and let's just say that you don't want to switch to her cousin because you care what your current cleaning lady thinks about you. You care, oh, she's so annoying. She's gonna go to my cousin and leave me out. Do you want a clean house or not? At the end of the day, the only actual opinions of you that really do matter are A, yourself, B, God, and C, the real ones, right? And going on to this point of the real ones is that while their opinions do for sure matter, it does kind of matter in certain use cases what they think of you. But if these people are constantly negatively saying things about you, and somewhere deep down in yourself, you know that, okay, they might think this now, but I just know that if I do this, this, and this, it's going to get me here. And you're allowing that close person to really hold you back. It's the same scenario. So while their opinion does matter, at the same time, it doesn't, because they aren't you. They don't have your vision board. They don't have your goals. They can't see or hear what's going on in your head 24/7. They only know you to a certain extent. So, and going back to this real one example, if they are actually real ones, they shouldn't have time to be criticizing your little tiny little things, because obviously your mom does, but you understand what I'm saying. They shouldn't have time to be criticizing you about for every little tiny little thing that you're doing, because if you're trying to get to here, you should be surrounding yourself with people who are also trying to get to here. So if they're trying to get to here, they should be this busy. And if they have time to criticize you, they're this busy. So that's point number one. Point number two is that, like I just said, they don't know what's going on in your head 24/7 out of the day. So if you believe something in your heart and you just know that if you put the work in, you're going to get end result, it doesn't matter what they think of you, like I said, in the short term, because you know in the long term that you're going to make everybody look stupid. And just think of how stupid you would feel if you let a couple other people's opinion of you, which is at the end of the day just a random thought that doesn't really matter, you let that get in the way of you becoming great. You'd feel really stupid, right? And I just had to get on here and say this. I had to make this video because I had a couple specific individuals that, and this is actually a lot of individuals that would say things about me or have a certain view of me, or they just don't really fully understand, because again, they're not me. And again, and I don't hate them for this. I still love these people. These people are still near and dear to me. I don't have any negative thoughts behind these people, but if I were to let their perception stop me from making this video or stop me from trying to be where I am, how am I ever going to get where I'm trying to go, right? Someone's opinion of you or what they think in their head is getting in the way of what you're doing in real life, bro, I think you got to question yourself if you're a man or not, because I don't think a man is going to allow that to happen, which is what we're all trying to be. We're just trying to become better men. So, and for the people who do view you in this frame, or they do see what you're doing in the short term and they don't align with what you're trying to do in the long term, bro, you kind of have to question yourself, are these real ones or are they just random? So for the randoms, dude, I wish the best to you. I hope everything between now and forever goes amazing. And I still have love for these specific people, but I just can't allow people like that or things like that to get in the way of me getting to the finish line, or for me getting to where I'm trying to go, which ultimately and truly my deepest and biggest goal in life is just to become a great father and to become a great man. So if I mess up a couple times in the short term and, maybe I didn't do this one thing right, just know that I'm fixing it. I'm actively working on it. And that your opinion of me doesn't matter. So